All right, everyone. So it looks like Gears of War Reloaded is going to get some pretty big competition on its release day of August 26th, 2025. This is from TrueAchievements.com. We learned yesterday that Helldivers 2 Xbox release date has finally been locked in for Tuesday, August 26th, 2025. If that date sounds familiar to you, it might be because that's when Gears of War was finally to make its historic debut on Sony's PlayStation platform with Gears of War Reloaded. So it's interesting because obviously this makes a ton of sense, right? Xbox is giving one of its big games, and then Sony gives one of its big games in return. But this, look, I love Helldivers. I put it on the PC when it first came out. It is a phenomenal game and one that I will be playing. But it really breaks my heart that we're getting it on the same day that Gears of War is being released because both of them kind of are going to be. I think it's kind of like, okay, Helldivers comes out. A lot of people will be playing that. Is that going to take away some from the people we want to be playing Gears of War Reloaded? I don't know for sure, but it could possibly happen. And I've been saying this is a big game with Gears of War Reloaded because I think this could get people really back into the series. And I want it to be a game that gets this back to where it was, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, where I'm not talking, obviously, we're remaking a game, right? So we're not getting a new game with this, but I want it to be that type of like, wow, there's a lot of coverage of it. People are talking about it. There's a lot of people online playing multiplayer and not just like the hardcore Gears of War fans. As much as I love the hardcore Gears of War fans, and I count myself in among them, but I want it to go back to being one of the biggest series on the Xbox and now on PlayStation as well, especially with E-Day coming out. Like I feel like this game is kind of it's like the beginning of what E-Day can finish, right? So you start with this and then you get to E-Day, and E-Day is that new release title that people fall in love with, right? And then hopefully we get more remakes and more games and we keep going from there. And it just sucks that we're going to get them. I understand maybe why PlayStation and Xbox kind of, I guess, as this was part of the deal, right? You released them on the same day, but I feel like you could have done one a week later, right? Even if it was Gears of War, as much as I'm looking forward more to Gears of War, but you could have done them a week later or something like that, just so you're not hitting the same exact, like, okay, I do think there's people that like, so for me, for instance, like I'm going to be playing Gears of War Reloaded right off the bat, not just because I have this channel, but because I'm a Gears of War guy. But Helldivers 2, I'm going to be playing that at some point during that week, and maybe that would have been time I'd be playing, Gears of War. Helldivers is great, and I played it on the computer. I want to get into it again on the Xbox. So this was just kind of I guess, a fun article, right? I found it interesting, but it just kind of sucks that we got these two great games coming out now on the same day, and hopefully, it doesn't have that big of an impact. I'm still hoping for another beta. I think we have all of July here. It's July 7th as I'm doing this video. We have all of July. Maybe we get a late July beta, early August beta. I think another beta is certainly in the works. Hopefully. I have no clue if that's the case, but I would love to see one. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.